Alright, I promise that the next time I upload a Frost and Plus video would be commentary. So here we are. Here we are with that commentary. I'm pretty geared, 626, 4 set obviously. I have Spy Masters. I think I've not really settled on the dungeon trinkets I want. Right now I'm running the Shadow Knife or whatever it's called. Primarily because it's just consistent. That was unfortunate, but sometimes you either react to random orb proc in the GCD before you press your shifting power, or you don't. I'm not really a generally big fan of it, but generally you want to make sure that you're kind of always generating splinters when you Ice Lance, regardless of, at least in AoE, regardless of if you have Fingers of Frost or not. So, there, for instance, I'm definitely generating splinters because I'm just chaining Splinter Storms and Icy Veins. But if I wasn't, I would ideally use a flurry over that Ice Lance so I could be Ice Lancing into Winter's Chill and generate a splinter that way. So, but yeah. He just wanted us to polymorph this so we could pull the next pack into here and not have it be too dangerous. I mean, it's only a 10, but, for anti-Ren, unfortunate. I am going to hold my Spy Masters. There's not really like a set thing you would do for your Spy Masters. It's more so like you just want to use it when it would be potentially good to use it. So for Frost, that means around your Kona Cold combo, you'd want to use it in AoE in particular, or perhaps in single target if you have a really high amount of Spy Master stacks and Lust would be a really good time as well. So I am really at an AoE point where I don't really want to use Glacial Spike, so I'm kind of just ignoring it. When that guy was separated from the rest of the people, it would have been good to do something else. You can see I flurried over Fingers of Frost there just because I didn't have Anywhere's Chill up. Whether that was right play or not mostly depends on if a Splinter Storm was coming up soon, and since I took some several actions after that, might have actually been a bad thing to do. So that Comet Storm was less because of the single target priority and more of the, oh, I'm an AoE, let me use that on a cooldown. But really, I wasn't an AoE, so. You can Comp Storm here, you cannot Comp Storm, doesn't really matter. You should not Flurry from 4 to 5 Icicles as Spellslinger. Spellslinger, technically, you should only Flurry after Frostbolt or Glacial Spike if you're out of Icy Veins. If you're in Icy Veins, it's okay to do, one without precast, but that's not true outside of Icy Veins because when you are out of Icy Veins, you would benefit more from getting the third Splinter, right? Because you get splinters based on Wearer's Chill consumption, so if I consume 3 Wearer's Chill by having that precast versus only 2 by only consuming afterwards, it's just better, right? Yeah, I'm just saving this orb for some reason because he's gonna transform. I also kind of don't want him to. I didn't want him to move. Like we haven't even lost it yet because I just wasn't in Icy Veins or anything. But yeah. Pop my Spy Masters. I made sure to shatter that, even though it came at probably at the loss of some Wearer's Chill to me. Just because he was in a massive damage amp. So, but yeah. Flurrying your Glacial Spike during Icy Veins, it's kind of a tough line, to be honest. A tough line between if you do it too aggressively when your Glacial Spike might have otherwise shattered, you're just going to lose a bunch of Winter's Chills consumptions, and then you're not going to be able to effectively chain your Splinter Storms. But if you don't do it, you're losing out on a lot of damage. So here, definitely the right move to Flurry. And I should get some extra Ice Lances in. But yeah. I am not using. This is before the affix was buffed, of course. And then they nerfed it, I guess. So now it's just a 50% cooldown rate with this map health. But This actually has 1 HP, so it's kind of nice for, Fire and Arcane because you get their execute value on it. Big stonks. Right now, he's trying to pull the mobs to the wall. This actually is going to cause my sentence to fall off, which is unfortunate. And also it causes my Mechanome ratio to tick down a little bit more. You see, now I'm at 7 Mechanome stacks instead of 10. It's one of the reasons why, Mechanome is like meh. Here I was trying to get my Water Elemental to attack over the wall, which I guess he can't do. So might only be permanent pets. I thought maybe Shaman Elementals can do it too. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. It's more for learning purposes. Trying to consume my Moist Chill, send out my orb then afterwards. And then I got another orb, which can Ice Lance after that. Follow up for some Moist Chill consumption. Be pretty aggressive running over here because I want to do big damage on these people. Unfortunately, my Ascendants fell off. I used my Fire Masters, didn't really have to, kind of just felt like it. Since I'm not Ice Veins or anything, probably wasn't that good of a use. But it makes me look good on the meters, which always feels nice. I wouldn't say Frost is really that exceptional of an AoE spec outside of, Fire Masters, similar to Arcane, really. Just get 2-target Glacial Spike there for fun. Why not? Our 2-target priority is it's a little bad for Spellslinger, I won't lie. But we're just waiting for the 0.5 patch when, things get a little more cleared up, and then, everything's going to be a little fixed, really. This is probably the best example of Spellslinger gameplay I've done, to be honest. That just all lined up very perfectly. I have to Frostbolt, and then I can Ice Lance after the Frostbolt. It's very good. Of course, Frostbolting's not great here, and that should have been a Comet Storm, but I just didn't see Comet Storm come off cooldown or anticipate that my Splinter Storm was going to happen, so. It's one of the nice things about having like a Splinter counter weak aura, which I disabled here, mostly because I had disabled for lag for raid. Frame lag at least. But yeah, if you use it, it's much easier for you to tell when you're going to need to say Comet Storm even before your weak aura would turn purple, would tell you that you had to. Technically, this isn't a good time to Glacial Spike. There's never really a good time to Glacial Spike in AoE. So that's probably just a misplay, to be honest, but it's okay. Like that should have been a flurry. Like right here, this should be a flurry. Because in AoE, we also don't care about precast or anything. But cancel a couple casts there, trying to use defensives and whatnot, but this pack I have some Icy Veins, it's good. So I pop Spy Masters because it just seems like a good time to pad some damage out there. Get a couple orb resets, which is nice. Lucky. Get another one, which is unfortunate because my orb was almost off cooldown. That one was good though. Yeah, nothing you can really do about that. That's just RNG. Most of the time, once you start getting more orbs out in AoE, you start getting more resets because, of course, they give you splinters. So here I start treating it more like single target because as the mobs started dying, that's why Glacial Spike there. But honestly, I spent like some time waiting there, which wasn't great. That probably would have been a cast Frostbolt or Glacial Spike moment.
even though it's not too recommended. But Nourish goes off here. I don't actually have a spell, or spell still talented. Yeah, so what you should do. I was pretty lucky I didn't proc an orb there, to be honest. This is a pretty bad situation for my splinters to proc in, given how far away I am from the mobs. I would have ideally wanted to like blink closer if I wanted to not have that frostbolt consume one of the ones intended for my ice lance, but we don't really need to be that degenerate, I don't think. See, so there, I countered even before it was purple because I just kind of anticipated the fact that it was going to be purple. This one was a little strangely delayed, but I still stuck one in there. So splinters are kind of strange when targets disappear or die. So gotta be a little careful with that. We both root him, and then something broke him. Had to have been something else because obviously my Frost Nova got broken by something. Otherwise, it would have stayed too. So thought my Frost Nova could break his root, which is funny. I do have 33 stacks here, but we haven't lusted. I believe I send it after this anyway. I just decide that, I want to end this boss. That's something nice you can do with Spy Masters. It's just, you know, say, I'm done. I'm done playing around. Yep, so there I pop my Spy Masters. I'm currently doing a million DPS, and let's see how high we go. We're climbing a little bit. And then he does get off another guessing game, so it's worthless. I did identify the right thing to hit pretty fast. That's probably a bad glacial spike, but I don't really have anything else to do. So technically, I should be hitting the other mob, but I don't really care. It doesn't stack up like the damage reduction that fast, and this guy's almost dead anyway. So I do 2 target cleave. It's not that bad. Me running to the side there to cancel my cast was a bit silly since I have 2 shimmer charges, but it doesn't matter overly much. We are going to skip this next mob. Just had our tank, imprison it, but now we do a double. And now this is going to be a Spy Masters thing once I do my kind of gold combo. So I only used it with like 12 stacks there, which is okay. Obviously, it's not ideal, but this is pretty high value, I'd say.
And while Frost gains a lot from also having the passive bonuses and everything, um, the thing is the value of me getting like 10,000 extra intellect on that pull versus having a 100 or 500 extra intellect on this pull and the next pull, and then 30,000 intellect down the line on single target just doesn't seem that high. But glacial spiking on low target cleave is not that bad, especially if the targets are freezable, which I am not really freezing any of them, but if you did, it'd be not horrible. Much better for Frostfire than it is for Spellslinger. Technically, if you're ever in this situation, which I don't have MDT enabled, so my freeze immune plater mod is not showing anything. You'd want to be flurrying at 4 to 5 icicles and then glacial spike into ice snowing, because at that point the main kickable guy is not CCable and everyone else in that pack is. It's like everyone here is freezable, for instance, and he's pulling into the boss with Lust. So this would have been very good to have my Spy Masters for, but instead I have 12 stacks, and I think I use it again. So I need to get close to them so I can use my orb resets and everything. You see I use my Spy Masters again. It also only had like 12 stacks, so it's not ideal. But yeah, this would have been a situation where, if you knew the tank was going to do this, you would not have used your Spy Masters on the other big pull. You would have saved it for this one, because this one is Lust with a boss, and also very large, right? But I didn't know the route, and I think that hopefully, represents kind of well what's going to happen in most pug keys, though. The only one that's a pug in this group is the healer. Again, didn't know the route. But yeah, so this boss is pretty standard. You're just doing single target stuff. Just basically doing AoE for the first half. Probably could have done better AoE. I don't think my orbs were properly placed, really, and everything, but sorry. That's one thing I do not focus enough on that I really should focus more on. The orbs, I kind of just check them out and I'm like, yay, I press the button, but can't really expect it to do damage without, you place it somewhere bad, it's gonna do no damage. So kind of the main thing that happened when I did some keys with Liulu in season 1 of Dragonflight was they were a lot better at hitting multiple enemies with their or more enemies with their snowstorm kind of colds very consistently. So, on Paradise Lance, unlucky. Not really. Skill issue. If I was close to the boss, that all would have happened inside the refresh window. But you can see both those, I just miss the refreshes on it, which is not ideal. Technically, I should not have flurried there, because I mentioned it early in the video, but you would want to, wait for a precast. I don't think this guy can be rooted, by the way. I don't have Ice Nova talented as well, which was a bit of a mistake on my part, because a lot of these times where I'm like encountering weird things to cast, or I'm like casting Glacial Spike in AoE, that would probably be an Ice Nova moment, really, instead of whatever I was doing. Like here, I should have flurried earlier. I'm a little used to the whole prioritize Fingers Frost and everything, but I should have flurried earlier. So if you really want to shatter your Comet Storm that's not connected to Cone of Cold, you can use your Water Elemental's freeze spell on it. I don't do that super consistently, really. but it's something you can do. Technically, it's better to just freeze on CD, but I don't think that's really very realistic. Like, I don't think many people at all are doing it. So here I pop my Spy Masters again, because this is the last full of the dungeon, and this is, where I should be doing big damage. See this Glacier Spike? Not it. Not it. That should have been an orb earlier. But it's not that big of a deal. So, on 4 target at least. That was bad flurry, obviously. Especially what's happening. Would have been a great moment to Ice Nova after my Frost Nova, or my Glacial Spike, but I don't have Frost or Ice Nova talented. Jesus, I was too far away from the mobs. So, anyway, there you have it. Yeah, just an okay 1.91 mil overall. There's definitely specs that can do more with that, and to be honest, I probably should do more for my item level. This is 626, using heroic spy masters and a shadow binding knife. I'm very well geared, so yeah. But really, I think I'll just be more concerned with this when the 0.5 patch comes out and we have a much better grasp on how to play this moment to moment rotation. Really. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. Let me know, comments, questions down below. See you later.